Hi guys, Yolan here. Today we're back from the video, and some of you saw that this week, the week I'm doing this video, um, I did a week where I streamed again, for 2 hours a day, and I play one session of Zoom 500, Zoom 200. Zoom 500 was running a little bit, so we will review it. That's why I didn't let the stream on YouTube because I wanted to do a review video. So we'll review it with Wizard and hope you will like it. I don't know how long will be the video. So let's dive into the action. I'm not gonna do any editing, any cuts. Just now, like I'm way too lazy for that. So, yeah, just pure video. That's fine if people don't like it. Okay, so Queen 7, nothing special happened. Yeah, so I called the limb from a rack. I think you can also like ISO freaks this end, like having 2 ISO size is fine. When you have like a weekend like this, in general, you prefer to ISO smaller size because you don't want to ISO yourself against a stronger range here. Because fishes will still be elastic depending on the sizing you do. And you let like big blind not raise preflop and yeah, so you only ISO the fish. However, if you play freeway, it's actually easy to play because most of the times it will go check on flops and you have the initiative. So it's super easy after to bluff because big blind is playing like a range with super wide number of combos. So he will fold a lot. And this guy, when he's calling the turn, he's capped. So like you can actually call more. Even like ends shouldn't be called because you can bluff a lot to like turn plus reverse. Yeah, and now when I bet half pot on the turn, my plan is to let him raise the 5x region. I think 8x betting on the flop super often, so like, yeah. And now on the river, like his range is too strong, so just give up. Okay, pocket 5. So I didn't know if this guy was a recreational player or a reg. So we will assume it's a recreational player because he opened 3.5 on the button. So high chance he's a recreational player, but can be wrong. He c-bet small here. In general, small c-bet freeway on these balls are not strong that much because like people tend to oversize 9+. Some people will never c-bet like 12 cards, but most of the time you just face someone with like 200 combos here and just betting a lot. So fives can't fold. And even against like a strong range, I think you can fold. 5 on the turn now, he bets small again, and I really thought it was a fish because it's not a reg sizing that much. And now pocket 5 is actually always a call. The reason is even if you play against someone having a lot of pocket 6, pocket 7, 8, for example, actually pocket 5 is doing well against his range because you can bluff a lot of rivers. If you think his range is not strong, as I thought here, because I mean too small size, then you can actually start calling and bluffing a lot of rivers. I think raising the turn is not that great because he can still have like boats. I don't want him to have like pocket 8, pocket queen sometimes, pocket 3. For whatever reason he take this line with 3. So I want to call. So the region I crush me like 8 queens bet on the river and the weak region check. So I think in this spot specifically it's better to call and bluff compared to raise the turn for this reason. Because I don't like things they will re-raise pocket threes that much. So I call again. The river is a queen and start betting 3/4. I think the now the range is too strong. Even the sizing a bit stronger. I think bluff on the queen in general just bet 3/4. So just in general here, I think the range is a bit too strong. And also if we see my blocker effect, it's not that great here. I block his 5, 5/4, 5/6. So I have one of the world's river bluff catchers. I think if I have 7, I can probably call. But yeah, I think this I'm gonna fold. I was thinking about bluffing because if you think he doesn't have sets in this line, then it's super tough for him with like queen 10, queen jack, and queen. I wasn't sure if it was a rag or fish, so I just ended up folding. Okay, queen jack here. Small blind against big blind. I'm a bit surprised about Alphbot here. You will see I did more mistakes this session because I was focusing on the chart and I was a bit tired, so I didn't really focus that much. So yeah, on this board here, you should play with small and check. And Alphbot, you can use it, but it's really the maximum sizing. Otherwise, you just isolate yourself against the range. It's too strong. If we go into GTO wizard and we put 10, 6, 7, we'll see that it's mainly gonna be small and some half-pot, but at really low frequency. And the fact is it's straight possible to change everything because now there are more runouts that are bad for you, and he can have a straight. Plus, he has hands that have stronger equity, which means if you take big sizing, you're just going to isolate yourself against stronger range. That's why there is only small enough. We can actually use half pot, and Queen Jack is mainly in the half pot size. So I don't mind. In general, I check range here. So anyway, okay. So, oh wait. Yep. So what happens? Let's see. Okay, he fold. Okay, h5 here, I call against cutoff. So I don't know if this guy was a reg or fish, but probably a reg taking me for fish. So he used alpha size. I decided to raise. I don't like it. I think when like it's the first time between me and him, and he bet alpha on his flop is just too strong. I think in general people with the air just bet 1/3. I don't expect people having air. I think it's mainly like a volume man that thinks I'm a fish, so I just need to check all the time. So I check raise here. You can check raise bigger. I think like 3x is fine against half-pot specifically. And now on the turn, having betting half-pot's fine. Unfortunately, I didn't think enough about his flop size, and I think I should just check call. Because now his range is stronger and he decided to raise. I think you can never call because in the check raise bet region you present a lot of flushes. And you don't have the odds at all against flushes. And if there is a diamond here, I can't value bet for that much. So I don't even have the implied odds. So yeah, it's just a bet fold, a bit unfortunate. But with the flop information here, this ain't a mistake. I should have just check call the flop against Alpha. Because if he has balanced size, like it's gonna be close between call and raise. And if he's unbalanced toward being too strong, calling is way better than raising. Okay, I just want to see this sense strictly here, how we should play this. I'm fine really not having the precise check raise sizing because it doesn't change anything at all in UAV. So yeah, on this flop we'll see some 1/3 and output, I think. Yeah, not that much. I mean 12% and mainly small. It's funny you can overbet here. I don't see overbet super often on this board. Okay. I don't see overbet at all, actually. Okay, but half pots. So decided to raise small. So we see we can raise both sides. H5 with the ace of diamonds mainly the raise. It's one of our hand that will raise pure. And yeah, so we raise. He calls. Turn is a 5 of diamonds. Oh, something I wanted to say is if you see cutoff plays, you should re-raise sometimes. Most people will not, so you gain slightly more EV by check raising. If we take only this aspect into account, otherwise, like, there will be some hands that will benefit from check raising a bit more compared to calling. But again, this side, I think calling is better. Anyway, turns a 5. I decided to bet half pots. And here we see that both sizing are used. I was thinking about using like small and half. I mean, and I think it's, yeah, you should actually only small. I want to see the report of turns because I think you don't do the only same sizing on all turns. Now let's see diamonds turns. Okay, 6 is small. That's mainly small actually. Yeah. Yeah, that's only small. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. I thought there would be way more like half pots, but no, I did a mistake here. I mean, I think this hand specifically is benefit well into the half pot size. Yeah, which is gonna be a mix. Yeah, it's took like 10%. Whatever. It doesn't change that much. And against half pot, you decided to raise. You shouldn't have that much raise here. Yeah. Okay, 12% raise. I would expect way less raise. And yeah, when he raise, I can't call ace-5 against the population. There's just not enough bluffs. Like nobody's taking 6s here or pocket 9s. Just never happening. So yeah, and all in. I thought about going all in, but I think people don't fold flushes. So it's probably not that great to jam in this spot. Um, so yeah, I don't see any interest because when I have the ace of diamond, he doesn't have these hands, and then if he doesn't have these type of hands, like I'm just burning money here. Okay, so nice hand, but just like flop is a mistake. I should take more into account the dynamic. Okay, screen ball is ace 5 3. I think here is 50-50 with the top a6 region. The two locales are bad for you because there are more runouts where he has nuts who draws, and you have less clean runouts with your value n. And also when you have like ace queen ace king and you bet big, your equity decreases a lot on the 4 deuce. Because you condense the equity or you condense the range of your opponent towards high equity hands, so you actually prefer to play these type of hands as mix and not bet all the time. And I think I like the check because a lot of people are going to overprobe, and the main reason is because people don't just 8 check fold in mistakes. So 8 check fold in gut shots, where sometimes you have to. If I put ace 5 3 and like there is a 10 or there is like maybe like more like a 6 7 or an 8, I'll put the check. We'll see the flop after. I put like an 8, and if we see what he has to check, we'll see in a moment. Okay, so he should check like king 4 all the time. He should check this hand, and most people will bet here. So you let the lower h6 you beat probing the turn, but the pot is going to be bigger compared to just you betting the flop. So yeah, to be better, I think to check, and like 8 7, I mean 6 7s check sometime, 9 6 to check sometime, 9 7s to check. I think this end just like pure bet too much. Yeah, nothing else special. Okay. Also, I think people don't check enough like these ends like ace 5 ace 8, but it doesn't change much. Okay, and now with ace queen on the flop, let's see. It's close to 50-50. Yeah, it's close to 50-50 anyway. You bet more with a diamond, of course. But yeah, apart from that, it's a bit whatever. Okay. Oops. Just getting spam here. He overbets. It's a fine size. I think I can have 2 sizing on the 7. Let's see. I'm in Bangkok right now, by the way. I think when you will see the video, I'll be in Dubai. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk too much about it because technical video. So he overbets, as we see here. Yeah, we have small and overbets. I think you can use only overbet. It's fine, like not small. It's not gonna be a big problem. I think people are betting too much, this type of fans, and as you see, they should check a lot. So you have a lot of fans benefits by checking back. Because they might just overfold to delays. They don't have this type of hands enough. Facing overbet here, we decided to call. Ice Queen is too strong here. Because the turn is a 7, a lot of lines have a gut shot or opponent did sometime. So you're actually able to fold some a6 here. However, I think it's the pool because they don't check enough this hands. I can't fold ace queen. I thought in game this will never be folded with ace king, but actually you can still fold some ace queen, but I will never fold this. I think you can start folding this, but yeah, I think ace queen is too strong because of the ace jack ace 10. I think that can be probably a bit too much because most people in my choose don't check ace king ace queen enough. Okay, yeah, nothing else to say. So I call, and on the river, like game a deuce and he check. I think they never check better than 2 pairs. That's why I value bet his queen, because I'm against a polar range, but like he's probably never gonna bluff raise me anyway, and doesn't even have a 4 at all. I think so. I like my value bet. It's quite seen, but yeah, I think it's gonna be Maybe some ace jack is 10. Maybe I can just bet smaller actually in exploit compared to taking the bigger size, but for me it's only weekend here. We clearly need to value bet. I think I will bet anything up to ace jack. I will see ace queen. Is it my combo? If it is my combo, this will be pure luck. No, it's not mine. Oh wait, no, it's mine actually. I can't value bet only my combo. Okay, that's funny. Wait, he bet 10%? I think it's just not precise enough. Like, I don't think he'll reopen 10% in the spot in position. That sounds super weird for me. Yeah, I think it's more like calculation mistakes. Oh, whatever. Maybe you can do it like 2% all the time. It doesn't matter. Uh, Wait, to bet 10% plus, he's folding 92%. That's super funny. Yeah, it's typically what happened against polar range. He's clearly targeting like a juice of diamond, and he's never raising a limb because it's close to zero value in. So I think it actually might be a thing, but it's super rare. Like these spots doesn't happen at all when like you can reopen 10%. Like it's super rare. Even like 1/3 is not happening that much. But yeah, so if we compare the EV between check and bets in theory with ace queen, we see it's actually really close. And if we start to just delete the all-in regions and we're gonna bet all the time, I can use to call enough, but when we have such a strong end here, if we remove the potential raise, you can just value bet this. The reason why you can't value bet theoretically is because if you start betting all the time ace queen ace jack, it's exploitable and he will put more value in the check raising region. But if he doesn't change his strategy, which is going to be the case, in practice, then you can probably do that because then they never have a fall. So yeah. Anyway, interesting end here. And yeah, I think played it right. Okay. Face6 free bets, standard. Okay. Was changing the title. So look at the aces here. I think it's the biggest mistake of the session. So I decided to bet small on queen 6, which I like. Pocket tens I call pre-flop. Should be a mix. Can free bet, of course. The quality video is not that great. So, okay, whatever. So on queen 6 9, I decided to check the turn. I really like my check. I think in practice you can have two sides. The reason why I check here is because I don't expect them to call enough. If they call enough, it's close. And if they don't call enough, like the bet is terrible. I didn't call enough on the street, so I think aces play better as a check. So all is queen 6. Cut off against big blinds. I'll take smaller size compared to GTO because I use smaller sizings. Erase, call. All is queen 6. Okay. And you're gonna have like the free size. Okay. Yeah, you bet mainly one third and half. Okay. Let's put 1/3. I think I bet 1/4. Doesn't matter that much. If your read rate is close to zero anyway. There is a 9. Yeah, let's see how much sizing you have. I think you have two size mainly. Okay, yeah, you have two sides, but you mainly don't use the alpha super often. In game, I found that alpha will be used more, but as you see here, you don't have that many hands that make sense to bet alpha. And on this turn, if you start using bigger sizing, you're going to isolate yourself too much. And if you start betting too big with a queen, then the region you're going to value bet is going to bet anyway on the river. So you don't really need to put the money right now because you can put the money in the pot later. And now with aces, as we see, it's really close. It's one of the end that can be in the half pot, but I think people don't call enough half pot size. So I'm fine with the line here. I think it's okay. I really didn't expect as much 1/3. Fully learned something here. Yeah. So I check, he check back. There is a king, and here my fault was if you have 7s, 8s is never gonna call. Like I think this river is over bluffed in general if they don't free bet enough here in my choose. And like in 200L. I mean, in A6 would be different. But I think here I never call like pocket 7, pocket 8, even against 10% pot. And when I bet, they call a king, but when I check, they're gonna value bet a king. And also I don't isolate myself against the sets. Just check the full house, checking the turn. So let's see what we do here. But my play was not recall, so he actually bets, and I decided to raise. But I think it's not good because he didn't have enough king X compared to sets slow played. I think most people will bet a queen on the turn, and some people can just bet full house. It's not a bad race. It doesn't have that much Jack 10 also. But no, it's just not good. He doesn't have enough and can call the min raise. So the only sizing possible here is min raise, but it's just not good here. It's a mistake from me. I need to check. I need to check call. Yeah. Okay. So aces here, obviously you always bet theoretically. Because you unblock the calling region and you're already strong enough to bet. Well, as I said, I think when I bet big, like they can even fold the king sometimes. And I think in turn the nail, and they don't make the close call. So like no way they call 7-8. So like actually every siding here in practice for me is low EV because they're not gonna call enough. And even if I bet 10% pot, like he needs to call a pair like all the time, literally all the time. Do I think people will do this? Probably not. Calling ace jack, probably not. Bluff raising ace 10, probably not. So I think every sizing is as lower EV against a human. That's why I decided to check. And he bet around 60% pot. And now we base like we should just call here. The range is not there's too it's not strong enough to I mean it's not weak enough to raise with aces. So as you see, ace king is mainly calling. Well, ace is different because you unblock the a6 region. But when you actually min raise, he has way too many like pocket sixes, pocket nines, and queen x. And again, if you start folding these, I'm really in a tough spot. So it depends on how much they call ace king preflop, because if they have a lot of ace kings, then it's probably okay. But we will block them. So yeah, I don't like this one. Should just play as a check call. It's a mistake. Biggest mistake of the session, I think. Pocket tens here, just check the flop, check the turn, bet 3/4 the river. I think nothing else to do. On the turn, I think it's the pop. Probably gonna like some check raising here. So I don't mind betting. And a lot of people can even bet jacks on the turn. I think it was a reg, not sure. So I like my play. I can bet tens, but I like before. I think it's higher frequency check, and even if it's not, I prefer to check here. So queen 3 deuce gonna have small mainly here. 3/4 also, I think. Yeah, small and 3/4. Because you have like the regions pocket threes, pocket deuces wants to bet big. Yeah, a little bit, but not that much. Mainly use small size and some off pot. Okay, check. Then is a 4. Spade. Yeah, whatever is the same. Check. Now we see what we will do with tens. You might think 10 is a high frequency bet because you're ahead in terms of equity. But the main problem we have with pocket tens here is we are going to isolate ourselves against stronger hands actually often. And that's why it's mainly a check. It's because when you bet, actually you get called by hands that has the odds against you. And the problem of this is if it's the case, then there's like also a part of hands where you're just giving money to the opponent. Like if you have ace 5 or even like ace 4 check raising, if you fall, like you just give him money. So it's just better to check with this hand. And on the eights, is it too soon to value bets? I don't think so. Against the pool, never. Because like I don't expect them to bluff raise that much, and it's tough for them to call. I'll have bluffs like I'll bluff the like 9-10, Jack 10 suited region will always bluff. I will probably mix some of the king X. Not actually always bluffing kings, but if you have more like kings combos, you're not bluffing. And tens here, it's just the threshold. Typically you can't value bet all the time, But in practice, if you value bet, it means the value bet's great. It's not because you value bet all the time tens that it start not to be good. Because nobody is going to directly counter your frequencies. Yeah, and he needs to call this. Not sure it's happening that much, but in general, people don't bluff raise. The reason why they don't bluff raise is because they have so much bluffs available that they're afraid to bluff here. Because they have ace 10, ace 9, ace king with a heart. So if you remove this, tens become always a value bet. Okay, so ace is a min raise, and he had pocket sixes. So yeah, big mistakes by me. I just overestimated the calling range. Honestly, I don't think it's that bad. Like most people will bet a queen. Most people recognize this spot is a good bet with like sixes and nines. I don't think they fold any ace king off, and they might even call like king jack, king 10 because the line reps fishy. So it's not that bad. It's just not that great. Pocket 7 against small, decided to fold. One of the lowest king X here. 7 interacts with the betting range, so I don't really want to have this card. Because even if you have 7-6 and you hit a 7, like it's not that great. You should still prefer to have like king jack. Maybe it's too weak. Let's see. And I mean, if he's over betting, like over betting and Smithy bet, I can really check raising if you want to. So I'm merge checking on the flop. I'm merge checking every ball. Like when I don't check raise because I'm thinking about something else and I play with autopilot. But here it's a board where even if you think you have a good advantage, the fact you're still going to isolate yourself against stronger range make this board not that great for you. That's why you mainly check. Okay, and when you have king 7 off, yeah, it's mainly check. Like king 10 has more, king jack has more equity. You get called by worse 10 and it doesn't interact with the full region. That's why like you bet more king jack compared to king 7. And facing small bets. How much size he needs to have, by the way? Let's see. I'm gonna review the 5-4 and this is really interesting also. Okay. Okay. King 7. You can actually call sometimes, okay. I think I don't defend enough. Like I will defend like all suited ends because I know that it's always a call. Like when you have two of the cards, and against the pool should walk a lot because you know king turn, queen turns, check, river jacks, 3/4, they overfold. So I'm never folding this, but I think I'm folding too much. Like yeah, queen 8 off. Think I fold and king 8. Think I start calling at king 9. Yeah, I will slightly overfold here, so it's interesting to see. Okay. And I think if you play like lower stakes, like this sizing is super effective because most people will just fold with 8-5 and not people are gonna check raise enough, I think. So this is a good move by him against most people. And in this case against me it was actually fine. Okay, so this board I opened 5-4, so it's a mix open. I open if there is one recreational player in the pot. I thought there were two, but no, actually only one. And facing a free bet descent start to be always a call. Mainly just because you don't have 5-4 that much in your range. So when you hit two pairs of sets, in proportion in your range, it's not that much. So he's able to bet more. If, for example, I open and call every 5-4, and the EV is not the same in theory. Because it's not an open super often, you will see this hand as profitable against a free bet here. So ETG open, free bets from small blind, and this one always call. Yeah, 0.4. And as we see here, so the concept I'm describing is called Shania effect. And that's why you see like 8-7 is lower even than 5-4. It's like question of frequencies. And 5-4 has the ISTV into the connectors because it's the shaded connectors with the frequency that is the less important. 9-8 is not calling that much. The main reason of 9-8 is because you have a lot of bad balls for you where you have open-ended, and compared to like 5-4 doesn't have bad balls where you have open-ended. I mean, super rare. So most of the time you don't want to call that much 8-9 because it doesn't play well at all. That's why you like if you put like a 4-bet spot like button against small blind, for example, and button 4-bets, actually 8-9 is falling because the same reason is yeah, here you see it's okay, super weird. Okay, well, I'm gonna take the normal 3-bet size because it was a bit weird. Yeah, you see here, if we look the EV, so it's still calling, but still like not that great, and you don't call it too much. If you have it full frequency, you can call it all the time. And the reason why you don't call that much because you have a lot of bad balls like Jack 10x, for example, where villain is going to have a lot of jams and you're not gonna realize you equity that much. Also, when you hit 2 pairs of sets, in average the ball is more connected. So yeah, it's not like the best ends to call here. And 7-6 is way better than 8-9. We can see because they call at the same frequency. But one is 10 times the EV of this one. I mean, 8 times. Something like this. Okay. So I open, call the 3-bets. Nothing special. Wait. Okay, boss is ace 3-9. Okay, he bet 1/4 is fine. As we see, can even size lower. If you put some like 10% pot bet, you will see that it's actually taken, and you can mix between 10, 15, 10%. Even 5% pot bet is actually a thing here. If we take complex board on I say board here, and we put hijack against small blind with ace 9-3, you will see you bet every size target something actually. And yeah, mainly you have small, and you have smaller than expected here. Like you even bet 7% pots, but if I count at what frequency you bet 1/4 or less, it's like around 45%. Yeah, and 1/3 is not used that much. Use more like small size compared to 1/3 more. Anyways, you can do like 20%, doesn't matter that much anyway. And 5-4 again this size. I think I raised. I wasn't sure against the population and in theory what was the best 5-4 to raise because we have more equity, but I don't want to get re-raised. Yeah, okay, I remember what I said in game is like we don't care because people are going to under 3-bet compared to GTO here, and we'll see if it's the case or not. Okay, let me come back to my solutions. So UTG small blind 3-bet, UTG call. All this ace 3-9. Okay. I'm gonna put the smaller bet, even if it's not 25. So let's see what do we do with 5-4 here. Put my camera in smaller. So 5-4, you actually prefer to raise the heart. Okay, interesting. I thought it will be the opposite. And when you raise, yeah, super high chances under re-raising the 3-bet. Yeah, it should re-raise 8%. Like king 9 of spades should raise. King 9 of spades should click. Ace queen should click. Kings should merge click. And this spot's not going to happen enough. And if you go into Digital Wizard AI and you put, okay, let's create a tree like this, and you let him under 3-bet, you will see you actually start raising way more 5-4. So if I put the 1/4 range here, so obviously the game tree will be a bit different. How much I raised? 25. Okay, I didn't raise that big. Doesn't matter that much anyway. Yeah, we see 5-4 is the only to raise, but if I not lock my range and his range, and the reason why I not lock my range is because I want the EV of my end. If I start to let him under 3-bets, he can't, the solver can't raise a lot like range because too many hands, you're going to be unbalanced too much on turns and rivers, and in theory, you're gonna lose money. So what do we want to do always here, and what most people are not doing, is just not block the two ranges and just check the EVs. Because if I see it's like way higher EV, that's mean in practice it will be way higher EV. Because even if I put all the time the same in the turn, I have all the time, it's not gonna change as theory if I have like every combos in my range. Because in theory is gonna create imbalances, but the solver can't compensate because he's playing like perfect against perfection. Whereas in humans are not gonna react the same way if you just put all your 5-4 because he's not gonna know it anyway. So I'm gonna put the raise and I'm gonna let him under re-raising. So I'm gonna let him the option to do so. I'll let him all in, even if I don't think he's gonna take all in that much. I'm gonna put my camera in bigger. Okay. We don't see 5-4. I should have taken bigger connector. Anyway, so it should raise like around 16%. In the also sim it was 8, was more precise. And now let's say he doesn't really raise enough, so let's put some let's put like ace 10, ace jack, ace queen in the no raise. I'll just let some ace king suited here. I will remove kings here. Well, nobody's raising kings without diamonds here, like absolutely nobody. Okay, and yeah, that's all. I'm going to remove also king 9 suited. I think it's mainly gonna call. Yeah, let's see what people are doing now. I mean, let's see what's the EV of the raise with by 5-4. And you'll see the EV of the raise 5-4 is actually higher because he realized his equity more compared to being re-raised. And you can see the river a bit more easily. And I think you even have extra EV because on most diamonds runouts, in general, in perceive, you don't have enough bluffs because most people bluff raise diamonds. So they might overfall like so turns and mirrors here. Okay, so ace 9-3 raise, and now we check the EV of 5-4, and we see it's a higher EV raise compared to call. And that's why I said earlier we don't care about the shoots because now every shoots makes more money actually to raise. Okay, interesting. It's not the exact size I did, but it's not gonna change that much. Anyways, so we raise. Yeah, on call. Okay, let's go out of the complex strategy. Only 10 minutes. I don't know since how minutes how much am I recording, but doesn't matter. Okay, open free bet call. The board is ace 3-9. Small raise call. Still not a 4. I think I should bet all the time. Because now if he still has kings, queens, jacks, it's gonna be really difficult for him. I have extra on diamonds, and I just play like a 2 or 4 or 5, like super clean. So not super clean, more clean. So yeah, I think it's way better for me. I think should be all the time bets in theory. Okay, yeah, just too strong to check, and you bet this all the time. In terms of sizing here, mainly choose half pots. I think it's the size I did. Yeah, I did half pots. She just a call. I think most people will still call some kings sometimes. It's tough to know exactly what they're gonna do actually right now. I think most people are not gonna fold like any a6, but on the river, as I said, on diamonds and out, they're gonna fold. And I'm gonna take exploitative sides when I need 2 pairs anyway, so I think they will call a bit too much on the river. So they will like fold too much, but call too much like smaller sizing. I mean, given the SPR, it's actually not easy to do all the sizings, but whatever. So he called and the river came. What was the river? 9 of diamonds. So like it's the perfect card. And now he doesn't even have, he only have 1 combos of 9s. Obviously he has aces, but if it's the 8 of diamond, I don't expect him to fold aces anyway. So best card here for us. So always gonna bluff. And we're gonna have extra heavy compared to Terry because we we didn't have that many bluff in our Percy region because main bluff in Percy is going to be flushes. So 5-4 is always checking, but I think it's really good jam. I thought it was going to bluff actually in theory, but whatever. And when we jam, now he needs to call that often. And he actually needs to call more because if he has more like ace queen ace jack in his range, then his range has way more combos, which means he needs to defend. He needs to defend more combos. So we'll see more ace queen ace jack defended. And I think like most people fall all the time now, close to all the time with ace queen. Ace 5 also fall all the time. I really like my line. Thanks, well played. And unfortunately, this time he had. Yeah, just end up jabbing in stasis. Okay, queen 4. Yeah, again, I play a really exotic hand. So goes check, turn, Lemaine is pure check here. No need to bet. I check call. And on the 5 on the river, I see to lead 10% pot bet. And it's something I worked on, and I think it's a spot where I should lead. And in practice, I will explain why I think you should always lead. So let's see the end first in the solver. Suppose queen jack deuce. Okay, queen jack deuce. Check. We're 5. So you don't bet queen 4. Didn't have enough equity to bet directly. If people bet too much, like 1 diamond and 2 diamonds on the turn, then it started not to be that bad as a bet. But I think Z500 is probably a bit better to check all the time. In theory, you can have 3/4 of a bet, one small size. I think I play without small here in this spot. Mainly play with big size. And to simplify, I only have one size. I think you don't need to complexify in this spot. Like just have like 3/4 is fine. Anyway, and like both sizing are like close. I've close to the same EV with every end anyway. Yeah, so I check, you bet half pots. And I think this range is a bit too weak from the pool. So I expect way too much weekends. I don't expect enough, I don't know, queen 10 play this way. As we see in theory, we should raise a lot of queen-x. I'm not gonna raise as much here. Oh no, wait. Okay, what the fuck I'm saying? Yeah, that's why I was like, it's a bit weird where so many queen-x. Yeah. Anyway. So queen 4 is always playing as a check call. I mean, you're not gonna raise this. What? They might raise some actually. I mean, the EV is really close. Oh. Yeah, it's a bit merged. I don't like the raise. We send. I know we play this as a check call, and we lead 10% pot bet on the 5. I'll see if the solver is doing it. So I need the IE strategy. I need to use a solve. Otherwise, we can't have 10% pot bets. The game sheet is going to be a bit less precise, but doesn't matter that much. Okay. Queen jack deuce, check. Check back. Take times. Turns 5 diamond, check. To have a more precise solution, I should add way more size, but doesn't matter that much. Okay, I'm gonna add some half pots here. Okay. Half call. The Leon River is a great way to exploit the population. And by the way, if you want to work on your exploit game, I'm gonna do a coaching on GTO Wizard 22 May. So I hope it's not I released the video before 22 May 2024, of course. And if you want to work with me, I will do something special in 2 months, 2 months and a half. I'm still preparing it, so I can't talk that much about it. But if you're interested to work with me on your game, you can just fulfill your information in the type form below, and you will be contacted when I will release the special thing, special program. Anyway, we see that we are going to have some 10% lead, I think. And I hope. 3/4 leads is super interesting. I'm gonna see after if you have some in the normal sim, but yeah. Yeah, so you have 10% lead here. Because if you see the range equity graph, we have a huge region that beats the opponent here. And like the top 40% of my range, even this ends like, where's Queenix? It's here. So this Queenix, this is ahead of so this part is ahead of 85% of villain's range. So you have this sense that wants to bet but can't bet too big, and the range you face is not that polar. So you're actually in the middle of your range. It should not be called like this, but you have this type of range you want to bet, but don't want to bet for the big sizing. So it makes actually some sense to have some 10% pot lead. And I think the range of the pool is way weaker than the theory here. So I think you should always lead in this spot, basically. And most people are going to call like ace of diamond a lot, because you can have king nine, you can have 10-9. It's actually a good spot to bluff, because because I said it was too big too weak. Now if you have an like 8-9 with one diamond, for example, like you make fold the split, you make fold like some 10x, probably king 10, king 9 off all the time. And if you overfold, you're gonna win money also. So I like the lead, and great to see it was Turkey approved. Yeah, just something that worked before. On okay, king free bet, fold, nothing special. Ace you check, turn check, and river check, nothing special. Check 10, just small bets, it's fine. Ace 9, call half pots, folding and solo bets, nothing special either. Queen 6. I think I don't like the way I play this hand. So I check out against delay half pot. What I was saying in stream is I don't think this side exists ever on this board on any turn, close to any turn, except like maybe some king X or a6, because the only range you want to delay is a strong a6 or set plus. So you're only going to use either overbet flop or delay overbet. So like I don't think this makes sense. I don't think it's good. I don't see what he wants to accomplish that much. Seems more like a weak ace that want to bet, so we can just check call it. And we might think like, oh, but if his range is weak, we can just like put pressure and start check raising. I don't like it, because the region you're going to make for when you check raise bet is going to bet the river anyway. So you can just check call, check raise, and you don't represent that many bluff when you play this way. So it's cut off against big blind. Okay, ace, king, 6, check. Okay, overbets, check. Interesting. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Turn is a 7, and both people should play with overbet here, because the only range you want to bet is strong a6 and 2 plus. Check. And here, yeah, half pot is used. Okay, I was wrong. Okay. Then king queen. Okay, so weird. Like for me, even on 7, it doesn't make sense to have Alf. But yeah, I was wrong. Totally wrong on this one. But I think when the board's like ace 7-6 king, now you only play with overbets delay. Like way more overbet delay. I mean, obviously it's a variable strat, but yeah, then you only use half pot 7% of the time. But I tend to never use half pot. Maybe there's like a mistake with the turn check raise size, because I really learned the game well with no half pot in this flop, so no, it's no problem with the raise size. Okay. Well, a mistake by me here. Albot is actually decent in theory, but I would still prefer to play without it in my strategy and only have delay over bets. So off pot call. River is the queen of diamonds. No lead here. He bets, and I think they like two pairs here a lot. I don't think king queen is betting this size. So when you have queen five, queen six, are you folding queen six on the turn? Okay. Yeah, I mean it's true that queen seven is blocking more volumes, but I felt like okay, I mean whatever. I think it's full range. It's clearly not a mistake. Like if they just remove like aces and some I don't know ace jack in the spots, and you'll start calling. Also, like we don't call because as king queen is his range. If you just remove king queen, you're calling 100% because then you don't have the bout like two play outs. So okay, interesting. But I thought it was close in theory. Don't didn't think it was fold, but I mean whatever. In practice, I think it's fine. And against southpot now, just raise too big. I think I just need to raise like 21. But we're close to always have the best 10 when he chooses this size. So anyway, like my line here. Okay. Queen five. So queen five said something in game that might be wrong. I think it's a good idea. I think theoretically, here in this spot, you play with 6x spot or check. And the reason why is like, so it's big blind against small blind, check on the flop. Check the turn. It sounds weird, but actually in this spot, when I have a6 of diamond, if I bet like 150, he's calling with an ace. So I just re-roll the diamond. And when I have like ace deuce, single ace diamond, then if I can overbet, he call an ace, I make full all the flush draws. And when there's a flush draw, I just re-roll and I can jab. And now I rep ace6 with diamond. So I think you can clearly have some overbets. I know it's a thing on some boards, like cut off big blind, for example. So against big blind, I never studied the spot because it didn't happen enough. So I don't remember one spot like this I studied. I think it's the first time I see a ball like this big blind against small blind. Where it's actually a thing. I mean, probably not the first time, but I don't remember I played a spot like this. Okay. I think it needs to close to check range on the turn, by the way. Okay. Let's see. Maybe it's actually really bad. I really like the strategy. Exploitative. Like, nobody ever is gonna fall if you bet like 160 here. I mean, I'm not folding an ace. You know, you have an ace. I can be a fish just pausing or whatever. Diamond common, just jam. And when you do this with the ace of diamond, you block the only end that can play always as a call on your diamonds. So I just want to see if it's something in theory here. So I check queen five, obviously it's in the checking region all the time. But I was wondering if I had like a6 of diamond, can I play this way? I thought it'd be so cool if the solver is taking it. Nope. Okay. Okay, so this is not a strategy he'll use. Only small. But I really think like you can just create a strategy around that and it should be really cool. I want to isolve it a little bit. Yeah, no, I mean no, doesn't matter. But yeah, if you use like really big size, it's never folding an ace. But the problem here is you can't do this on this ball. Because the range is against you play contains too much weaker hand, you can make call. So you don't want to play this way. And you're gonna bet smaller because you need to target 9x region and make small money. But there are some spots in single race spot, but more like putting in big blind where you actually gonna play this way. Like for example, if it's like ace, queen, 10, king, he bets the flop, he bet the turn again. Now you're gonna have like a check raise with the like straight and blocker out the flush draw and straight plus flush draw. Anyway, was just fun here. Check here, standard, nothing to do. And on the river, let's see what he did. He check. Okay, I think I check and I think I won. I don't remember this hand. Obviously, we are too high to really bet this. And here, small blind should check the a6 who blocks the check back region. So if he has ace queen, ace jack, ace 10, it's mainly a check. And if he has in like lower a6, mainly a bet. Yeah, that's what we can see. Ace jack, ace queen, ace king is mainly checking. And this is mainly bet. And he's mainly for quarter. Okay, it's interesting. It's still bluffing some jack x here. Okay. Um, yeah. Just want to see what if we have some over bets here. I don't think so, but let's see. We have some. Okay, what will be like 5% or less? But yeah, makes sense. Anyway, okay, let's continue here. It's only 20 minutes. I will do 30 minutes of this video. Okay, I will finish on this two ends. I think the video starts to be a bit too long. So 10-9 here. I call the small free bets here. So with a call. The ball is 10, 5, 6 deuce. And I didn't know if it was more bad with the backdoor suited cards because you block the check raise, but I think it's mainly gonna bet with like king 10 of diamond. So I don't really want to get check raise by the same. And the thing is, in Ferns, you will find enough raise, most of them, probably not. So yeah, it's close. So close. But it is something cool I want to show you. It's a strat I work on. Is on the turn I only walk with like 15 to 10% pot bet because it requires villain to do things that are extremely unconventional and uncomfortable. Like if I put 10% bet, he needs to raise like king jack of spade here. Um, and nobody's going to do this, so I put super small size to make for a lot of hands that beats me. So I really like it. I can also check and bluff the river, but I like this line. Okay, let's see. I think I can just check and jam also. I think this line will not be cold enough to check and jam in the spot. Anyway, we call 10-9, ball is 5-6 deuce, and I want to see if we bet more 10-9 spade compared to 10-9 diamonds. In the game, I thought we will bet more 10-9 spades compared to 10-9 diamonds. Let's see. I think against the pool, we can bet a lot in the spots, but be careful if you play big blind against button or small against button, because the bluffing frequency is not the same. Okay, we see that we bet small 42% of the time, and 10-9, we... Oh, it doesn't change. It doesn't change that much, actually. Okay, and you actually bet more 10 of diamonds. Anyway, since you check back here, this time, you can do whatever on the turn. It doesn't change that much. And now I will need to use a solve to show my points. Maybe against 20% it's gonna happen. No, okay. I mainly bet polar on this board. But the main smaller sizing is really powerful here. It's probably not need to raise ornaments that much against 10%, 20%, but you will see against 10 or 15%, it actually is required. Yeah. Okay, it's the last 10 we're gonna do. Start to be tired. Okay, let's solve this. Okay. Check. Okay. He's betting all the time, 10-9, so we'll not have it on the turn. Yeah, I will let him check range. Because I think it's what most people are gonna do. And again, it's strategies and like you probably want to check 10-9 way more. Not all the time, but more. Because the range is stronger. Yeah, now we check more. And you always check. Close to always check 10-9 of time. But still he needs to take all the close check raising range. Anyway. So check. Turn is 7. He checks, and we work with the super small size because most people not find enough the closer range. I also like it doesn't look like air. I look strong when I do this. I think like they might think a lot like you just want to get cold and do this size, and it's tough to put like air with one single bluff, one single straight bluff. So check, and now let's put also size, and we'll work with the super small one. So let's put, oops, 5, 2.5. Let's put 11%. 10%, 15 is the same anyway, close to the same. Check, and let's see what the solver is doing. You don't want to bet in protection much, so it makes sense actually. You don't use this one, but still, thing I want to show is if you put this size and you put bigger raise sizing also. Yeah, he needs to call King Jack of Spade. He needs to call Queen Jack of Spade, and he needs to raise them. He needs to raise Jack of Spade. Nobody's going to do this, and they actually need to call. And if you didn't study this line, you can't know what to do. And actually, you should have a lot of leads on the river. So if I put a king, he needs to lead. And because people didn't study this note, you can gain advantage over them because they are not going to counter your strategy well. So you're exploiting the fact they're not countering well enough your strategy. Well, I'll put small size. Yeah. And now we see you actually have some leads. But in order to find this, you need to study a line before, and most people are not gonna find this lead against super small size. So you actually have a better utilization. And if I put all the not loading, I'm totally gonna stop the video, but you will see that actually this size might be one of the best. And if from what we see here, if we put the queen jack, jack 10, spade always in the fold, not in the call, not in the raise, like 10% will start to be used way more. You know what? Let's do it quick. Yeah, it's not gonna be too long. Just gonna make follow all of the sense. Except heart, of course. So I just make for this. Yeah, I'll still, yeah, I'll make full king 10. So nothing special actually, just like king guy. So, and now we'll see that because it creates way more folds, way less raise. This is the note the solver prefers to take. And it's great to have these lines because if you study them well and you select them well, then you're going to exploit the fact you're gonna counter exploit people directly. And then 10% pot, 11% pot will be used. Not at all. Okay. But actually, if I cut the if I not lock this range and I put the 10% pot bet and I under put the raising region with this type of hands, then we'll see it's going to be taken a bit more. Yeah, anyway, just gonna put this in the fold. And what else? Yeah, I need to make for more ends. That would like call. Okay. I mean king queen is not gonna call. And just remind you, DV you're seeing here is not DV against the population because the population is not gonna find any leads. So you realize your equity better. And yeah. Anyway, and so what we can see is with a lot of our range, we're gonna have higher if you use this size. I should have not logged the this range before. I didn't do it. We see like a lot of fans of having a bigger review in this line. Anyway, whatever. Hope you liked the video. See you for the next coaching with Wizard. And if you're interested to work with me in the future, fulfill the information in type form. And if you're selected, I will recontact you again. See you for the next one. Bye guys.